Fax isn't going away, especially in industries like healthcare and government. But the way we manage it needs to change. IT teams are dealing with zero downtime expectations, rising security pressure, and growing demand from clinical systems. The HIM stats on the slide says it all. 72% of healthcare IT leaders are overwhelmed by basic system maintenance. Managing a fax environment is very complex. Not only do you have to deal with software, but you have to manage the telecom connection, the application integrations, the database, and storage. Finding a RightFax administrator with the skill set needed to understand the complexity of not only the software, but all the integrations, including the telecom, is very hard to do. And when you do, it's quite expensive. So the question isn't, should we move to the cloud? It's, how do we do it without losing control? Let's talk about what it really costs to keep fax management in-house. We looked at how much time IT teams typically spend on different parts of the RightFax environment, and it adds up fast. Start with troubleshooting and telephony issues. That takes up about 17.5 hours a week per admin. At an average hourly rate of $48, that's over $800 a month, just for keeping fax calls flowing. Then there's operating system patching, server maintenance, and software upgrades. That's about 11.5 hours a week, or over $600 a month. Add in compliance work, things like encryption validation, access controls, and audit prep, and you're at another $500 a month. And finally, there's the time spent just keeping track of how everything is configured. Basic knowledge that only one or two people really understand. That's another $300 or more a month that doesn't show up in a budget but hits you when someone leaves. Altogether, that's thousands of dollars a month in people hours just to maintain your fax infrastructure. Hosted RightFax gives you that time and budget back. Next, we're going to walk through the latest in cloud fax. Hosted RightFax removes all of that daily management. You don't need to worry about servers, gateways, or tracking down your RightFax administrator. It is deployed in a HIPAA-ready infrastructure, which is critical for our healthcare clients. You get direct access to our certified US-based RightFax engineers, not a general help desk. We support whatever telephony strategy works best for you. Traditional gateways, cloud connectors such as RightFax Connect, or SIP trunks. Our team doesn't just support the environment, we consult with you on architecture. That includes hybrid setups, transitions, and unique compliance needs. You're backed by engineers who live and breathe this stuff. You'll never have to budget for a major upgrade again. It's all included. What we're really offering is peace of mind. Fax is still mission critical in healthcare, but it shouldn't be mission critical for your IT team to babysit it. Let's take a quick look under the hood at what hosted RightFax actually includes and what we manage for you. This slide gives a technical snapshot of what Advantage takes care of and what responsibilities remain on your side. On our end, we'll handle the RightFax server deployment and configuration. We handle the full RightFax server build-out in the cloud. This includes licensing, software installation, and tailoring the configuration to your existing workflows, including integrations with EMRs, MFPs, and directory services. We take care of redundancy and backups. High availability is built in. We ensure geographic redundancy and encrypted backups to meet your disaster recovery and uptime requirements. One of the most complex parts of deploying RightFax is the telephony side. We manage your SIP trunks or connect you to a certified cloud fax telephony provider like Cloudly or T38 Fax, so you're not stuck trying to configure dialing plans or troubleshoot fax line errors. Server monitoring and patching is also included. Our team actively monitors the health and performance of your fax server 24/7. We handle patching, alerts, and ongoing OS and application level tuning so you don't have to. We also take care of the fax encryption, at rest and in motion. Fax data is encrypted in transit and at rest to meet compliance standards. This is especially critical for healthcare and regulated industries. Now let's talk about what you manage. You still manage things like roles and permissions internally, but we guide you on the best practice to help you enforce policies through system-level controls. Porting numbers into a hosted environment can be painful. We support and guide that process, coordinating with your current carrier to minimize downtime or disruption. The client side remains in your hands, like adding users, setting internal policies, or managing how users access the system through their EHR, MFP, or desktop client. But the infrastructure, uptime, and deep fax knowledge, that's on us. Let's walk through what's actually included with hosted RightFax. This isn't just cloud hosting, it's a complete managed solution that's designed to take the operational burden off your internal team while still giving you flexibility and control of where it matters. We start with the foundation, the server itself. Vantage handles the full setup, including provisioning the RightFax server in our secure cloud, configuring it for your specific needs, and maintaining it over time. That includes all patching, regular updates, and ongoing monitoring to ensure it's running at peak performance. You don't have to carve out IT resources for maintenance or worry about falling behind on software versions. Everything is optimized, updated, and aligned with RightFax best practices from day one. Next is support and compliance, which are especially critical in industries like healthcare. Hosted RightFax runs in a HIPAA-ready infrastructure, and we offer business associate agreements, also known as BAAs. Our support team isn't a general help desk. You're working with engineers who specialize in RightFax and know the environment inside and out. That means you're not explaining the basics when you reach out. You're getting help from people who already understand how your fax system is architected and what you're trying to achieve. Finally, let's talk telephony. Whether you're working with traditional SIP trunks, using something like RightFax Connect, or connecting through a cloud-based SIP carrier, hosted RightFax can support that setup. We don't box you into a single telephony model. We also provide guidance and consulting to help you design the best fit architecture, especially if you have a hybrid needs or want to transition from on-prem. This is where our previous webinar really comes into play. If you joined us for Untangling the Lines, you remember that we broke down the different telephony paths, SIP, T38, and more, and how each strategy affects your RightFax deployment. Hosted RightFax is built with the same options in mind, and we help you align your telephony with your overall cloud strategy. If you haven't had a chance, that webinar is available on our website, atechnologies.com, and our YouTube channel. Your hosted RightFax server will include all modules needed for your integrations, including all the web-based clients, email connectors, MFP connectors, APIs, and other optional modules based on your environment. We will work with you to choose the best telephony provider. We will also guide you on the options you have for client connections. Some of our customers just need access to the RightFax web client and the ability to receive faxes into network folders. For those customers, there is no need for a VPN, since the connection can be made through standard web ports, SMTP for email integration, or SFTP, Secure File Transfer Protocol, for delivery of faxes into network folders. While some customers use a VPN so they have access to all the features of RightFax, including EMR integrations and MFP integrations. Let's look at a real-world example of what this looks like in practice. For many healthcare organizations, fax is still a mission-critical workflow, but it is often mixed together with aging infrastructure. For this customer, the IT team was managing on-prem servers, complex SIP setups, and constantly chasing errors. Downtime risk was high, and there was no clear ownership. After migrating to hosted RightFax, they gained reliability, clarity on support roles, and peace of mind. We didn't just remove their servers, we removed that friction that was slowing them down. Hosted RightFax isn't always the right fit. For organizations with a strong internal IT team, and especially those that already manage their own Azure or AWS environments, self-hosting can still be a solid path. You retain full control over the infrastructure and licensing, which is appealing in a highly regulated or isolated environment. But that control comes with responsibility. You need to patch, monitor telephony, troubleshoot, and run your own compliance audits. If you got a dedicated team and strict hosting requirements, it can still work, but it's not plug and play. With Advantage hosted RightFax, we're taking care of the infrastructure, licensing, SIP connectivity, even high availability. It's a service, not a product. In contrast, self-hosting still leaves all of that with your team. Great if you need control, but that control comes at the cost of time, resources, and internal expertise. So, how do you know if hosted RightFax is the right fit? It really comes down to where your team is spending its time and where it should be spending its time. If fax has become more of a maintenance burden than a business driver, this is where hosted RightFax shines. Maybe your team is stretched thin and needs to get out of the business of patching, monitoring, and manually managing uptime. Or maybe you're stuck supporting legacy infrastructure that no one on your current staff even remembers configuring. Hosted RightFax takes that off your plate. You still get enterprise-grade faxing and full visibility, but without the day-to-day distractions. For teams that need compliance, especially in healthcare, we also help meet those requirements without adding more operational overhead. If any of this sounds familiar, hosted RightFax might be a smarter, more streamlined option for your organization. Let's talk a little bit about working with Advantage Technologies. We have a team of highly trained RightFax certified experts with years of experience in troubleshooting, implementation, and optimization. They have in-depth knowledge of integrations with Microsoft 365, cloud solutions, EMRs, and other enterprise applications. We offer 24/7 support plans and multiple service levels, including on-demand, managed services, and premium support options. Our customer solutions and integrations are tailored to meet specific business needs, and our expertise in integrating RightFax with SAP, Epic, Cerner, and other critical business applications is the best in the industry. We have a well-structured escalation process that ensures that complex issues get resolved quickly, and direct vendor support and priority case handling with OpenText for critical issues. We offer comprehensive training and documentation and in-depth user and admin training for seamless RightFax operations. Our customers all have access to our portal, knowledge base, best practices, and troubleshooting guides. For anyone evaluating this transition to the cloud, the best place to start is a quick technical assessment. We sometimes call it an e-health check. We'll review your current setup, understand where your pain points are, whether it's telephony, compliance, or reliability, and give you clear next steps. This isn't a sales pitch. It's a tool to give you clarity so you know if hosted RightFax is a good fit or not. Let's go over takeaways from today's presentation. First, hosted RightFax eliminates the day-to-day burden of infrastructure, updates, and troubleshooting, and can save you money. Second, hosted RightFax was built from the ground up for healthcare and compliance. It is HIPAA ready with multiple telephony options and backed by a US-based certified support team. And finally, the team at Advantage will work with you from start to finish to help make the transition to the cloud a successful project.